Hello everyone, greetings from South Africa. How we plaster our buildings is what I'm going to talk about today. At the end of the last video, the shell of our building was ready. However, the walls made out of the building bricks, they are not very beautiful, and the openings in the walls leave enough space for animals and insects to nest in. So we took the decision to plaster our buildings, which actually is much more difficult than you would think on the first glance. It starts with the concrete that you're mixing. It needs to be sticky enough so that it sticks to the wall, but pasty enough that you can actually smooth it. When you have achieved this sweet spot, you actually have to apply it to the wall. So you take a trowel, take a bit of the concrete and throw it onto the wall. However, you need to make sure that you always have the same amount with every trowel throw, and that the distance between the individual blobs on the wall is the same, so that when you smooth the wall, you have the same amount of concrete all over the wall. So the next step is to smooth the wall. And you start very rough, and then you become increasingly finer. When you have thrown all of the stuff at the wall, the wooden board goes over it for the first time, very roughly, to give it an equal amount in most of the areas. And then you start with the trowels. You go over it and you smoothen it. You go over and you become smoother and smoother with each and every time, until you have a very nice flat and homogeneous surface. And then the big areas of the walls are done. Yet, there is one more thing to do, and that are the openings of the doors and the windows. They require a somewhat different technique to the large areas, because you have a right angle where the wall and the opening for the door meet. In order to make them nice and 90 degrees, you take a wooden board, put them on the already plastered and dried wall, and fill the gap in between the wooden board and the door frame with concrete. When that starts to settle, you take the wooden board off, smooth the wall side, smooth the opening side, and then you have very nice openings for your doors and your windows. And with that, your entire building is plastered, looks beautiful, and is ready for the next step. And that is to go and get painted. And how we do that is what I'm going to talk about in the next post. See you then.